Hello. Just tuning in here for Intuitive Tuesday. I will wait just a moment to see if people jump on. So I'll introduce myself. My name is Holly. I think I forgot to put it in there, but I also have a business page on Facebook called The Akashic Queen. I do a lot of work in the Akashic Records. So I also read cards for people, and so I do all sorts of different types of readings. Hey Kim, hey, you're like a record for always being the first one on when I pop in here. So hi. I was just introducing myself. So I consider myself, I'm a psychic, this kind of thing, but I'm also a teacher. I am an avid student of a lot of different esoteric subjects. It just keeps evolving the more I keep like opening doors or going down certain wormholes or whatever it is. And what I wanted to do with these first few Intuitive Tuesdays that I've popped on since I became a member of Gifted, I just wanted to kind of start at the basics. I wanted to start at the basics and just like, how did I start learning about all of this psychic stuff and this intuitive stuff, and how did I discover my gifts, or how did I recognize them again, I guess is more what it is. So yeah, you're in tune with our live streams, Heather's and this one in here, at least for me. So that's lovely. I like that, Kim. Cynthia, hello. Say hello if you're on. We're talking about clairsentience today. I gave a little bit of an introduction on myself. Clairsentience is one of the four clairs, meaning there's clairvoyance. I talked about that last week. I'm not sure if the video is still up. It might have come down for some reason, but I have it saved on YouTube. So if anybody wants to see that on clairvoyance, I can put that link in the comments here. No problem. But today we're going to talk about clairsentience. There's two other clairs too. We'll talk about those in the next couple weeks. If I can pop on for these Intuitive Tuesdays, which I hope to do weekly. So please comment if you're jumping on live. Let me know that you're appreciating even the fact that these are replays. They're all the same. I'm not going to read any cards today. I'm going to be going live. My kids were sick and I wasn't able to go live on Saturday, my normal day, to read cards, which I usually just live stream into this group. So look out for that, for me or the Akashic Queen, if you want to catch me doing cards sometime. Hi, Rebecca. Hello. So it's good to meet some of you new people that are checking me out. Let's talk more about clairsentience. So this is clear feeling, or clear sensing is kind of the way this particular one of the gifts, one of the clairs sets itself up. And if any of you feel like you are clairsentient, let me know what your experiences are with that. So from a really basic perspective, we all are, we all have gut instincts about something, about someone, or about some place. You all have like, oh, something went on here. I know, for example, like there's a really northern Nevada. There's a highway that gets you from where I'm from in Utah to where I live now in California, and it's a long, lonely stretch. And there's one kind of weird rest stop that has like a giant, sort of old. It's weird. It's a weird situation. And when you go read about it on the placards, it seems fairly benign, but it's a really weird feeling. It's a weird feeling. Like something else went on there. I just know it. Like it's a weird feeling. And I'll always, even if we're just driving past it on the freeway and not stop, because we only stopped there, when the first time I experienced that highway, I'm like, let's go check that crazy place out, because you see it from the side of the road, and then the exit, you're able to pop off and go check it out. It's very weird. If anybody's familiar with northern Nevada, it's off of like the Imlay, I think is the exit area. So that's one of those things you remember when you have this sense about something. So and a lot of this, I call it mother's intuition, gut instinct. This is clairsentience. So hi Jane, hello. No, it's not by Barstow. It's in northern Nevada. So it's It's like if you're going west through the top of Nevada, like headed towards Reno when you're coming from Utah, headed towards California. So it's top of Nevada. Holly is cold in Michigan. You're inside. You're inside enjoying the hopefully well heated home and maybe some hot chocolate or something like that. Oh man. Yeah, it's like 70 degrees here where I'm at today, which, you know, we all get our weather patterns, but it's rough when it's super cold. I'm from Utah originally, so anyway, okay, so it's like it's something that's within our normal five senses range is this clairsentience. So really, when you put this in action as far as a gift or being able to accelerate the understanding of what these senses are, this is where you're starting to tap into maybe other people's sort of emotional states that they're going to have or that are going to occur. You can almost you can see when something's brewing beneath the surface. A lot of people that are really in tune with this clairsentience. Negative 35. I think one time I was in Alaska one time and it was like negative 20. It was cold then. Whew. So you're just like, I'm glad the internet's not frozen. Bad joke. Poor joke. But seriously, I'm glad that hopefully you're just where you can stay in one spot. Because that's very, very cold. So I'm looking at my notes here because sometimes I lose track. So yeah, so this is another problem with not problem, but another category. And yes, if you don't shield it right, it can be a problem. Is people who are highly empathic. I always have a problem with that word. Empaths. People who are highly empathic. They score high on the clairsentience sensitivity scale, I guess, if there was one. So these are people who are very, very in tune with the emotions of others. And sometimes, like I said, it can be a bad thing if you're not able to shield yourself. And so another thing is these people are clairsentient, in addition to be highly empathic, which makes you a great like counselor or somebody who is in therapy or even a coach, being able to sense and understand the emotions underlying behind people's reactions and actions. You can also be drawn to, like, people who are highly clairsentient can be drawn to healing arts like massage therapy, Reiki healing, because it's almost like their hands guide them. If you've ever had a really good massage therapist, this is my first experience with body energy work, was the actual touch kind. They're sometimes like just guided to where you need it the most. And of course they can feel that a little bit, but that's the point, you know. Somebody who doesn't pay attention to that difference under their fingers and the way things are feeling, they're not going to be in tune with that. They're not going to make a very good massage therapist. So same with Reiki. I'm attuned to Reiki. I almost say certified in Reiki. That's not quite the right phrase. I've been attuned with the Reiki energy, and yeah, you have to be really in tune with the subtle changes in that flow so that you know to move on to the next space in the body that needs the Reiki healing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Jane, absolutely. And actually, I was going to do a shielding exercise as part of this. So stay tuned here. And it's not going to be too long. I never can stay live for too long. My goal is like 30 minutes if my kids don't go nuts out there. They're mostly napping right now. I just have to listen for them to be somewhat not napping if that happens. You call your 24-hour crisis hotline. Yeah, she says, Cynthia says, I'm an empath. Yeah. It's, you know what, we need a lot more people who are highly empathic and really in tune with that, but they also need to learn how to shield themselves properly. So I'll give you a tool. That way you can sort of let loose a little bit more with your clairsentience and you can discern. A great way to practice in building your clairsentience in a positive way, instead of taking on the emotions that are coming at you just because people are venting either physically or mentally venting. You know, when somebody's mentally venting and going over something in their head, or or their aura and their presence and their energy, what you're able to feel if you're clairsentient, is it's really banging right then. I mean, I don't read auras. That is one feature of clairsentience, but also clairvoyance, being able to see them and things like that. So. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so one skill you can do is when you go into places, and this is a workplace, or maybe a public space like a mall. But sometimes it's nice to go to a place that you go on a regular basis, your own home, you know, coming home from work. Sometimes that's going to be an interesting experience, especially if you have older kids that are going through puberty and they're experiencing their own shifting emotions, and also their abilities to pick up on other people, their own empathic tendencies. So you come into a new space and just take a moment and breathe, and breathe into being clairsentient takes place in the middle three chakras, the kind of middle three, your heart chakra, solar plexus, and your sacral. So that's kind of like the lower bunch, but those ones especially, because so your heart chakra is where you open yourself up to sensation, feeling, where you let a lot of your own energy go, especially if it's a positive, loving energy. That's another thing. Of course, your solar plexus. This is your sense of your own identity. So it's very important to be in tune with that, so you can separate who you are from other people that you're dealing with. You can separate your own energy from a situation, and mostly that's just learning when you walk into a room and you realize, this happened to me. I should have taken a moment to ground before heading into yoga class one day. I was, you just get 1 hour of childcare for little kids at the gym that I go to, which is a blessing. But it's sometimes just 1 hour, and it's a 1 hour yoga class. So I magically have to drop the kid off and be upstairs like in 1 minute, basically. And a lot of times, hi Amy, a lot of times I'm late because I'm a mom and I have 2 kids to get ready. I have 3 now. This is back in the day when I just had 2. And that particular day, I had a really rough postpartum period on that one. And I needed yoga really badly, but I was very angry and very upset, and I was late, and it was harder to drop off my kids there than normally. Like normally it's just drop and go, but they were apparently needing their mom, probably because my energy was off, and they're like, hey, we just want to make sure you're okay, lady. Like, yeah. Because they are beings that run on feelings. Children are, come on. And so, I stormed into that yoga class that was in progress, and not loudly. Okay. I did so in a really embarrassed sort of way, but my energy stormed in there. It stormed, and it felt like I found a nice face on the ground, and I wasn't squeezing in, it wasn't overly crowded, but it was almost like I could feel the shift of the people around me when I sat down, so yeah, I should have checked my energy with the anticipated energy in that room and said, okay, I need to stay out here for a minute, and it's worth it. You're already late, so you might as well just, take a minute and settle down. So these are the reasons why you want to be really in tune with your own clairsentient ability. Because you want to be able to, and that's your third chakra. You want to know how you are in any given moment, and how that is reflected out into the world, into your situation that you're in. Okay, so that's why it's a really big player. And then also your sacral chakra is a very big part in that, because your sacral chakra is about reading the emotions of others. Sacral is all very emotional chakra, and I know the heart is an emotional chakra, but in a very, very different way. Emotional and sensation based is the sacral chakra. I mean, this is where we derive our physical pleasure, and our sexual powerhouse is in our sacral chakra, and sex is all about physical touch and pleasure and this sort of thing. So it makes sense that when you're sensing that about another person, that's a chakra that's going to be alerted. Okay, so having a very clear channel, doing chakra clearing is super, super duper effective. I know I'm kind of giving you a lot of tips randomly. Somebody can write them down. One is, now that I've told you fully about the chakras, making sure that your chakras are fully aligned, okay? And all of them. Why stop at just those 3, okay? Because you want them all to be super aligned. That's very, very important. So that's a tip, a huge tip. You can DIY, you can do it yourself, or you can call an expert. I'm an expert in chakra alignment because I've had chakras and I've been dealing with them for a long time. And believe me, I like to have knowledge and run amok. Meaning I get the experience firsthand of when I'm not listening to what my chakras are telling me. I'm like a renegade that way. Maybe I can't blame my kids for being so disruptive sometimes because I do it as an adult. Okay, now we're going to go back to, I think I was talking about, I think it was at the space where I was talking a little bit about what you can do when you enter into a new space that you go on a regular basis. That's why I got into the yoga story. Hello from Glasgow. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for all the blessings. And Jaylyn, I'm seeing a couple people, Lauren, that have joined as well. Hello, sweet souls. And so, okay, so yeah, I don't want to get distracted again. So a test you can do, go into a workplace, come home after work, even a church if you go there on a regular, anywhere, any place you kind of go on a regular basis, your own coffee shop if it's a regular joint for you. I totally could tell when there was like something had happened with one of the employees, like kind of in a public situation, meaning other employees saw maybe a chastisement or somebody else might have gotten fired. You can totally tell those things, but check in when you walk into a situation. And it starts from before that. So it's more like getting in tune with how you're feeling when you're on your way to a specific place so you can separate yourself from the situation, the place, or the other people that you're coming in contact with. So being very, very in tune with yourself is important. So you can ask yourself these questions. How am I feeling? Okay, how am I expressing this feeling? All right. Is this healthy? Is this, and I'm not an expert, like I said, it's just tuning into what I'm feeling. Can I breathe through this in a few minutes before I get to wherever this meeting that I'm going to? Because I'm nervous. I'm feeling very nervous, for example. Like, it takes some time to breathe through it and to remind yourself in that circumstance of all the other times that you might have been nervous. And then it was like no thing. It was no big deal. You rocked whatever situation you were going into. I used to get nervous about going live. Now I can go on and on and on forever. It just changes. So that's something to get in tune with yourself. And then you get into the new place, your office, the coffee shop that you frequent, your home after work, and take a moment to feel the energy of the space. Does it feel good? Like, does it feel, this is even a new place, good or bad, or like, is this a good energy place or is this a bad energy place? You can have that, but right away. But when you go into a regular place, you can sense a rift. You can sense something coming sometimes. I've had a lot of people tell me that they've sensed a big announcement at work beforehand, strangely enough, and they're sensing it from the people that know about the big announcement, either their excitement or maybe their dissatisfaction at having to be the bearers of bad news, this kind of thing. So it's really important. You can gain a lot of insight from taking a few minutes. Let's see. Okay. Sometimes you can get overly emotional when you're in a situation for no apparent reason whatsoever. You're actually picking up somebody else's emotions. So one really good example of this is one of my spiritual mentors has this story of being in a sweat lodge at a retreat that she was hosting, and she was hosting it. So she's had experience in the sweat lodges before, not leading. She was, it was part of the experience, but she recalls being in that sweat lodge and all of a sudden being overcome by fear. And she said, she checked in with herself. Where was I just before this? I was just fine. I was in a really good place. So this fear is not my fear. And when you learn to read your own energy signature, that's something I teach in some of my classes in my private groups. Or, you can even, like in that case, you need to learn to read your energy signature and what your own body is doing. But then you can decipher if that's somebody else's fear, and you can breathe it out and let it go. You don't need to accept that. So let's see. Other things that you can do to improve your clairsentience. I have heard if you wear more rose quartz, that's something that helps. Rose quartz is a very heart opening sort of crystal. And so, yeah. Let me see what Jane says. I need healing and I'm having problems. Yeah, you know what? The universe delivers. When you need an alignment in some way, you need to show up for this amazing little mini clearing that we're going to do. Let's see, what time is it? Let's actually get in a space where we can do that little mini clearing. I'm going to get my sage because I like to light a tiny teensy bit of sage. So close your eyes unless you're listening to this like while you're driving or anything. Don't close your eyes. Close your eyes. Relax. Kind of shift your head around. Take some nice cleansing breaths. If you're like me and you wanted to light some sage, you're breathing in that beautiful, it's kind of a ritual. It's sort of a ritual. I know I'm going to go into a mode of protection when I smell this. Protection and clearing, banishing away anything that's unwanted and unnecessary. Anything that's not serving my highest good right now in this moment. Just the smell of that sage makes me realize I'm protected. So let's take a nice inhale. Go ahead and breathe into the count of 4. Hold. And then release a little slowly here to the count of 4. And do this all again 2 more times. And exhale. Last time, synchronizing our breath, synchronizing our energy. And release. Now go ahead and go back to breathing in a normal, comfortable way for you. And we're going to call upon and welcome Archangel Michael to our space, to our protective place. He is an archangel who carries a mighty sword of diamond white fire, and he can cut the cords and the attachments to people or situations that are no longer serving you. But not only that, once he's done offering you that service of cutting these cords, he will be able to protect you with his blue light. It's kind of like this royal blue sort of light that he emanates out. So let's go ahead and take a scan now. And sometimes you can start sensing, if you know, if you need some extra healing out there, you can start sensing what areas need the cords to be cut. So we'll call upon Archangel Michael. For everybody here on this live stream or on the replay, please offer your service of cord cutting. Please remove any attachment to any situations, people that are no longer serving and in our highest good. And we ask for it to occur in the highest good of all of us, and so it is. Take a deep breath in and forcefully exhale 2 more times. Archangel Michael is still with us now. And from his aura, he is emanating his beautiful blue protecting light. And he is sending it out in such strength that it encompasses all of us, wherever we're located across the globe. And for you personally, you can see it and feel it all around you. Mine, I imagine with my clairsentience that it feels like this nice, just really luxurious blanket, sort of, you know how you can like whip a blanket around to the back of you and sort of wrap it closed and keep yourself warm. This is how I'm allowing my clairsentience to play with this meditation. So however it feels for you personally to receive this beautiful blue protecting energy in the form of this blue light that Archangel Michael is sending out right now to all of us, all across the globe, all across wherever we are here on planet Earth, and receive it for yourself. Some people kind of imagine the feeling of, I've heard it described as feeling like I'm in a hot tub of nice, protected, healing light and energy. So these are all different ways of experiencing it. Whatever's right for you. Sometimes you might tingle. You might start getting this really tingly feeling. By the way, that's a very, very common sign for most people, a physical sign of affirmation of an experience that is perfect, that is just right. Take a few more breaths while you receive this healing light. And know that anytime you leave your home, you go out into this wonderful world full of energies, you can wrap that blanket around you, as I like to do. Some people like to imagine themselves in a bubble that just floats around them all the time. You can have that beautiful bubble around you all the time. It is yours, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So nice to do that. Even just like, I don't know how long it was, maybe 3 minutes, if that. And you can do a version of that for yourself. You can do the cord cutting. You can call upon Archangel Michael anytime you want. He can be with all of us at once if we're all calling at the exact same time. He has ultimate call waiting, like there's no waiting. He can just go do. But there's not a lot of interference unless you request it from these archangels. So it's really important to request it. And you can also ask. You can ask, I was going to find out which archangel kind of like mastered over clairsentience. Let me see if I can. I have my archangel deck. I'm not going to do any cards today, but I'm going to like pop open the book because there's a clairsentience card in here. And let's go ahead and see. I was almost there. So it's Archangel Raguel. Archangel Raguel. So Archangel Raguel's the ones I always remember, because his name is spelled differently than you might think it. It's Raguel for Raguel. But he makes everything well. This is like a really generic way of remembering this name thing. He adds harmony to situations. So his message for us today is notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings. So these are your clairsentient feelings. They're signifying divine guidance. If you get the goosebumps when you hear something, that can signify that what you're hearing is truth. What you're feeling is resonating really deeply at a physical level, not only at a mental level. And, sometimes you might get emotional in other ways. Like it might bring you to tears, and you're not necessarily somebody that cries, for example. That should be noted. These are things. And then also your reoccurring ones as well. So Archangel Raguel, he can guide you towards the people and the energies that are going to be beneficial for you. Also, I'm hearing to say you don't have to just call upon Archangel Michael. We could include Archangel Raguel in the future with our healing invocations. Especially I'm hearing as you're going into situations, going into the workplace. So these are like the mini ones. This is like, hey, Archangel Raguel, just make sure that I can get to my desk and have it be all good. Like it's a 3-day weekend and it's like Tuesday after a 3-day weekend. That's kind of like rough. Sometimes those are the Mondays from hell. I used to work in an office. So you can offer that sort of like invocation as you walk in the door. Not as dramatic as a cord cutting and, wrapping that blue cloak around you, but just really beneficial as well. So Amy says she can't wait to start for her Reiki. I noticed you said you were doing Reiki. It's really a beautiful, beautiful experience, Amy. You don't feel anything with the blue light, but you can feel spirits. Well, what color of light would be beneficial for you? What color of light is your protecting light? I also work with Saint Germain's Violet Consuming Flame. So this is a little bit different energy. So this is what I recommend. Who was that comment? Maddie was making that comment. So what would feel right for you? It's really good to notice that. Blue is beginner. I experienced blue and angels right as I was learning about clairsentience, clairvoyance, and the different clairs. It wasn't later until I started really going deeper into my esoteric learning and knowledge did I start playing with different colored lights, the violet consuming flame and these other types of lights. So Maddie, it's really important to just check in with yourself. I was reading in the Doreen Virtue book I have. There's just a lot going on with her, so I didn't even want to bring her up. But let's just be real. Many of us wouldn't be where we are today without some of the things that she published in the past. And so I was just looking at it, and she uses a pink, or used to use, probably doesn't anymore. She used a pink light, like rose quartz energy, because it still offered, it shielded and protected, but it still offered love to pass through. And that was in essence that her soul needed to express. So figure out what light and then start like asking questions. Why is it this particular color light? What is it representing? Because if you can solidify that with yourself more, it's going to personalize that healing protection even more. Amy says she saw white light first when she started. So you could just imagine and go with who embodies a beautiful white light. What angel works with white light? Sometimes your first instinct of what might pop into your head. This is all just to play with and to experience and experiment with. Maddie says she only visualizes white or yellow. That's okay. White light's a very, very powerful light. There's diamond white fire. And I have to go back into my esoteric training to really find out who exactly works with diamond white fire. It might be Archangel Metatron. And so this is a whole thing. I need to do like a whole class on archangels, because now we're kind of getting a little bit sidetracked. So let's go back and just kind of recap with clairsentience. Chakra alignment is very important because you're sensing a lot of the stuff externally going on through your own chakras, and that's how you're gaining this information. So making sure your chakras are aligned and cleared are very, very important. And next thing you can do is practice reading your own energy when you're alone, like maybe on your drive someplace, so that you can experiment with experiencing the changes in energy when you walk into a place. Because it might not have been you having a bad day, it might have been your office having a bad day. And you have a choice on participating in that, but it's a lot easier to make the choice that's more in alignment with what works for you if you can perceive that shift and you can say, I'm not going to feed into this. I'm not going to feed into this today. And so maybe you put a sign up on your door, maybe you create meetings for yourself, maybe you do whatever you have to do to avoid less. But it can be really beneficial. So, hi Jennifer. What does your purple light mean? I don't know. I'm a mini psychic. So I would ask. I like, if it's this violet light, I like to get in touch with our Ascended Master Saint Germain, and he has this powerful violet consuming flame that it just burns away any fear, any uncertainty, any feeling of danger. And it offers this level of protection, because whatever you're sensing in that moment, where you're if fear, or whether you're taking on somebody else's emotion, in that case, so it needs to be sort of burnt out, so you can replace that with your own. So how do you read your own energy signature? I was just referring to, when I say energy signature, it's just paying attention to the way the energy is moving through your body. So I do some advanced trainings, which are not like super advanced, but if you're interested in them, I do a lot of my more next level up clearing work and teaching. That's why I said I'm a little bit of a teacher, in my private groups. So I have one that's called the Moon Goddess Tribe, and you could totally join if you're male, totally fine, but definitely a lot more females in the group. Like maybe there's a couple males. They're the brothers of somebody that's in the group. Lucky them. Anyway, so it's only $22 to join that group. So it's really, really affordable. It's a lifetime membership, and I go into all detail, all sorts of that. So I'll save that goodness for my group there, Maddie, but that is definitely something that can be learned, and I have little segments teaching that before we do full moon clearings every few months. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of tie this off. Let's see if there was anything else I recommended. I know it said wearing rose quartz can really help, as well as clear quartz. Just anything. Clear quartz really helps with any of the clairs, honestly. Paying attention to your gut instincts, following the gut instincts, not second guessing yourself. These are all ways to build up that feeling of clairsentience, of knowing and feeling when you're going the right direction. So if you've enjoyed this live stream, tune in next week for an Intuitive Tuesday. If you want to see more of me doing card readings, you can pop over to my Facebook page, The Akashic Queen. I'll go ahead and put it in the description. I'll just edit it and put it in the description, so it's there. And yeah, I hope I see you guys again. So enjoy your day.